sunshine, water, and woods, lovers, likers, hopefully subscribers. So we're all done with crabbing. We've got the boat all cleaned up. And now, guess what we're gonna do? Let me show you. We are gonna cook some big, giant Jimmies for dinner tonight. Got the crabs, got the pot ready, corn. I'm gonna make some cucumber salad. It's hot, summertime, nice cool cucumber salad. Some little bit of dill to put on top, the onion. Join me in the kitchen. Let's get to cooking. So with the corn, I like to steam them right in with the crabs. I just cut the end off. Take off about that much off the end and peel off all the outer layers. Now I want to leave some husk. They cook better. I think it helps them steam better. So we just pull off the outside layers. Chop the top off. Basically, looks like that. We got some dill. And we got the cucumbers. And of course, the main event, some big, giant Jimmy blue crabs. We're gonna steam these crabs. What I've got is the steamer pot all set up. This is an old New England clam bank type steamer pot. Top, bottom. Very cool thing. That thing's probably been floating around in my family for 30 years. And of course, my favorite, Everglades. This is the fish and chicken. I'm going to put that directly on the crabs. But I'm just going to use regular Everglades. In the water. So we've got the water here. I'll be so ready when I get some nice tripods and all that. A large amount of Everglades in the water. I don't measure anything, but I hope you can see that. A good amount. White vinegar. What the vinegar does is when it's steaming up in the water, it helps make the crab meat release from the shell. I don't put a ton, about that much. So it was full, it's down to that point. I don't know what that is, quarter of a cup, maybe a little bit more. Some butter. I put about a half a stick in the water. I think it just makes it taste better. I'm gonna go right over to the stove. And I'm gonna start bringing that water to boil. Now with our crabs. Some people like to cook them whole. Some people, you know, they cook them whole, they crack them open, they either dump out the guts, the, oh look, he's still moving. Gills, everything like that. I prefer my crabs cleaned before I cook them. The reason for that, I think that getting the seasoning and stuff in the crab while they're cooking, you know, you put a whole crab in there, you sprinkle seasonings all over everything. How is it getting anywhere? I don't even know why people season crabs when they're cooking them whole. I just don't see a possibility of how that even gets in there. Also, I'm not a fan of eating gills or guts or anything like that. Some people are. So what I do is you peel the apron back like this. That's the small part there, which is how you tell if they're a male. This is a male, like that. You slip your thumb right in the back side, and the whole top of the shell will basically just peel off with that apron. There it is. That's the top of the crab. That's the bottom of the crab. These brown parts, all that, those are the gills. Most of the guts come out with the top of the crab. And then what I do is I peel all these gills out of there. Some people say the gills are actually toxic to eat. I've known many people who just eat them. They're still around to this day, so I don't know how true that is. And then what I like to do is I like to break them right in half. So now basically you've got a whole crab, top peel off, 2 halves. After that, they go right into the steamer pot. So we got about a dozen more of these puppies to do. Clean them all up, and then I'll show you what we do next. So from within minutes of gaffing a big dolphin, catching a big snook, deep dropping, snapper fishing, that fish should be in a cooler, covered in ice with salt water straight out of the ocean, straight from where you caught them from, to make a good slurry. You want that fish to you want to drop that temperature down to subarctic temperatures as quickly as possible. It firms up the meat. It makes the meat sweeter. You know, there's so many steps to cooking, but if you don't take care of your food from beginning to end, it's not going to be as good as if you do. That's why I like to catch my own food. I know exactly how it was handled from point A to point Z, all the way across. I know that it didn't sit in a boat in a cooler for 12 days before it got to market. Yeah, take the little bit of extra time to take care of the food you catch. I mean, you put in all the effort of going out, catching it, the money, the expenses. And then I watch people throw a fish on a cutting board, walk away and have a beer, and let it just sit in the sun for half an hour, 45 minutes. Or they finish filleting that beautiful piece of tuna, and they grab the freshwater hose and they spray it off. Oh, there's nothing worse that you can do, especially to tuna, than to spray it with fresh water. So the crabs have been ice bathed, super cold this whole time. Got them all cleaned, broken in half, tops pulled off, all the gills pulled out. They're now down in my pot. At this point, there's about only one thing I do. This time we're going to try this Everglades fish and chicken. Typically I just use regular Everglades. This stuff's actually really hard to find. We've got this really cool market right here in St. Lucie County, right off Midway Road. It's like 5 minutes from my house. It's called Nelson's. The most incredible farmers market. They've got the freshest. That's where I got the corn. That's where I got the cucumbers. That's where I got the dill to put in the cucumber salad. It's an awesome little place. It's actually not that little. It used to be little back when I was a kid. Now they're big. They sell orchids, flowers, plants. So I just give a lot. Not a ton, because you don't want to overpower the crab. But remember, it's still in the shell. You just want it to have a good seasoning. Spin it around. Make sure you get all sides of them. just a good liberal, I think that was the word I was looking for, liberal amount of seasoning to your crabs. But this place, Nelson's, what a great place to have so close. Fresh vegetables. They have nuts. My daughter loves walnuts. They have tubs. Excuse me. They have tubs of walnuts. You just take them by the scoop. They sell them by the pound. Like I said, they sell orchids. They sell fruit trees. Myers lemons. I love using Myers lemons when I'm cooking. They sell Myers lemons trees. That's the next thing I'm going to be planting in my backyard. A very cool place. But anyway, I get sidetracked. So we got all the crab cracked in half, guts cleaned out, gills cleaned out, no washing, no freshwater touches, anything like that. Put in the pot. We're waiting for our water to boil. 25 minutes. Some people go 30. You want them bright red, but when you get that pot good and steaming, 25 minutes seems about right. Our corn, which I've shut down, I didn't take all of it off, but I took a lot of it off. I like to let it steam inside it's on a shuck, and then right before we eat it, we'll obviously peel the last off. I don't put that in until the last 10 to 12 minutes. Corn only takes about 10 to 12 minutes in a steamer. So we're waiting for our water to boil, and while we're doing that, cucumber salad. Take a couple of cucumbers, just skin them right off. Regular potato peeler, take all the skin off. I know one thing. I will be so happy when the delivery gets here that has a nice little tripod, a stand, all that kind of stuff. But for now, we'll make do the best we can with the counter and a piece of my mail stacked under it. So with my cucumber salad, I like to slice my cucumbers as thin as possible. You know, you don't have to go ridiculous, but I would almost like to have them transparent. It just eats better. I prefer it that way. Play with it. It's the one nice thing about cooking. I hardly ever use a recipe, but I look at recipes all the time. They're my start. And then I build off of them. I get ideas. I've never made cucumber salad. I was sitting around last night. I was on some sort of site or something, and cucumber salad popped up. I was like, huh. Nice, light. My daughter loves cucumbers. Seems like a very nice thing to have with crabs, which, even though I hadn't caught them yet, I was assuming we'd have enough for at least a dinner. So I said, yeah, let's try that. It's experimenting. There is nothing in the kitchen that should scare anybody. They're not all hits. Every once in a while, I make something, and it's not good. Usually I try it before I call anybody else in to have some. And if it's not good, I throw it away. so for cucumber salad, the dressing that goes on top basically consists of dill, which I'm cutting up right now, water, a little bit of vinegar, and the only other thing, honey. Honey gives it that little bit of sweetness. Can add some salt and pepper and stuff like that in it as well. So we've got the dill. Let's say that's going to be plenty. I'll give it one more little chop of it. Just a little bit of dip of vinegar. Alright, so I found the honey. It's honey doesn't last long in this house. My daughter loves honey. So, honey doesn't take much. You don't need a whole lot of sweetness in a salad like this. The only other thing I put in is a little bit of cool water. And I like the taste of balsamic vinegar, so I think I'm going to put a little balsamic vinegar in there as well. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Take a fork, mix it all up. Oh, how great that looks. Oh my goodness. Pour it right in. And then just mix it all up together. See how all that is getting together? A little bit of sweetness. I think I'm going to put a little bit more honey. Like I said, you don't need a lot of honey. You just want that little bit of sweet with it. Just a little bit of sweetness on top of that vinegary taste just makes everything taste so good. And if you don't want to use honey, you can use sugar. You can use maple syrup, any type of sweetener you want. Like I said, everybody in this household absolutely loves honey. Another thing I got from Nelson's, it's McCoy's honey. It's a local honey company. Where does McCoy's come out of? It's perfect. So the fridge. Let this cucumbers get nice and cool, because that's the whole point of eating cucumbers. They're nice and refreshing on a hot summer day. Alright, so our crab water is almost coming to a boil. We'll go ahead and kick it up on high. Like I said, all we have in there is water, butter, seasonings. Ooh, I almost forgot the most important part. Oh, that would have been terrible. I'm glad you all were here to remind me. Beer. You gotta put beer. This is right there. You gotta put beer in your crab boil. It's not a crab boil without beer. Oh yeah. I think I'll have the rest. I picked Fat Tire because I like Fat Tire. Actually, technically, if I'm drinking beer, I drink Pabst Blue Ribbon, stuff like that. But it didn't seem right to put Pabst Blue Ribbon in the... So I splurged on some good beer. Fat Tire is a beer I like, so that's what I picked to put into the boil. Oh, it's starting to smell good too. In fact, let me show you this. That beer almost, it like starts to like steam. It does something to the water. Not exactly sure what it is, but yeah, if you're boiling anything, put beer in it. It just makes boiled water better. I put beer in my potato water when I'm cooking potatoes. But anyway, we got the corn prepped. We got the cucumber salad in the fridge. Got the crab water going. I'm gonna put the crabs in once it gets to a good boil. Let them cook for 15 minutes. Throw the corn on top, give it another 10 to 12 minutes. We'll be ready to eat. All right, guys. So it's all done. Out of the pot. Onto the plate. Some beautiful Jimmy blue crabs. Corn on the cob. A little bit of cucumber salad. Straight from the plate. Well, I should say straight from the water onto the plate into my belly. That's all I got for you today. Sunshine, water, and woods. If you like what I'm doing here, throw me a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave something in the comments. If there's something you want to see, fishing, hunting, I do it all, and I'd love to share it with you all. But for now, I'm going to eat some dinner. Give thanks and chow down. Goodbye.